Hello everyone, and welcome to a new lesson. Do you know what past continuous is? If you don't worry. Today we're going to learn it. We'll learn when to use past continuous and how to form past continuous. Let's start. We use past continuous when we're talking about something that happened before and after another action. We use past continuous when we're talking about something that happened before and after a certain time. We should use past continuous when we want to show that something continued for some time. We use past continuous when we're talking about something that was changing, growing, and developing in the past. And finally, we use past continuous when we're talking about the action that happened again and again in the past. Let's look at some examples. Number 1, something happened before and after another action. Children were watching TV when I got home. What does it mean? That means when I entered my house, when I opened the door, children they already were watching TV. If we compare it with the other sentence like children watch TV when I got home, in this case, when I entered the home, kids started to watch TV. But if we want to say that they had started to watch TV before I arrived and they kept watching, so in this case, I will need to use past continuous. Children were watching TV when I got home. The case number 2, something that happened before and after a specific time. It was 5 o'clock when I was writing a letter. What does it mean? That I was writing a letter, then I looked at my watch and I said, oh, it's 5 o'clock. So I started to write before 5. At 5 I was writing and I kept on writing. If we compare it with another sentence, at 5 o'clock I wrote some letters. What does it mean? I looked at the watch, it was 5 o'clock, and then I started to write some letters. But if you want to point it out that at the moment when it was 5 o'clock, I already was writing a letter, I already started before, so we should use past continuous. It was 5 o'clock when I was writing a letter. Case number 3. We use past continuous to show that something continued for some time. For example, my head was aching. I had a horrible headache and it was aching. That we want to say that my head was aching for some time. It's not that it happened in a moment or in a second. It was some time, for some period of time, it was aching. But probably we can't define for how long. Everyone was shouting. Well, probably my head was aching because everyone was shouting. So probably you opened the door, you entered the room, and everyone was shouting at each other because they were arguing. Everyone was shouting. Number 4. We use past continuous when we're talking about something that was changing, growing, and developing. For example, children were growing up quickly. So obviously you've got kids and now they are big ones, probably they're already adults. But when you remember when they were little ones, they were growing up quickly. Growing up quickly. Her English was improving. So we're talking about someone's knowledge that was changing, developing, improving. Her English was improving because she was practicing every day. My hair was going gray. My hair was going gray. Again, we can't change the color of the hair instantly. When they're going gray, they're becoming white and lighter day by day. So my hair was going gray. Let's move on. And the last case when we use past continuous, when we're going to look at today, it's when we're talking about something that happened again and again. Probably you met someone who looks perfect. And you say, oh, you look perfect. And this person can reply, oh, I was practicing every day, 3 times a day. That means that this person was making exercises every time, 3 times a day. So this is the action that she or he was repeating day by day. Or the next example, they were meeting secretly after school. What does it mean? It means that kids, after school, they were meeting each other. It didn't happen once or twice, it was regularly. So this is the action that happened again and again. They were meeting secretly after school. Let's look at how to form the past continuous tense. To make a sentence with a past continuous tense, we need to use subject, verb to be in the past, which will be was and were, plus verb with ing ending. Let's look at some examples. I was going. I was going. He was going. She was going. It was going. So as you can see, when we use subjects as I, he, she, and it, we should use was, which is singular form of the verb to be in the past, plus verb with ing. I was going, he was going, she was going, and it was going. When we use subject in plural like we, you, and they, we should use were, which is a plural form of the verb to be in the past, plus verb with ing ending. Repeat after me. We were going, you were going, and they were going. Excellent. Let's move on. In the next bit, we're going to look at how to make a negative sentence and a question. Let's start. It's very easy. Again, we need to use the verb to be, which will be was and were, plus particle not. As it happened before, we don't use 2 words separately. We don't say was not or were not. We use the short form, which will be wasn't and weren't. Let's repeat after me. I wasn't going, he wasn't going, she wasn't going, and it wasn't going. Repeat after me. I wasn't going, he wasn't going, she wasn't going, it wasn't going. Let's try with plural. We weren't going, you weren't going, and they weren't going. Let's make a question. Again, it's easy again. We need to put the verb to be at the beginning of the sentence, then we put subject and verb with ing ending. So, was I going? Was I going? Was he going? Was she going? Was it going? Where are we going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are they going? Excellent. Let's have some practice. He was sleeping when I phoned him. When I phoned him, he was sleeping. Let's make a negative question. He wasn't sleeping when I phoned him. He wasn't sleeping when I phoned him. And what about question? Was he sleeping when I phoned him? Was he sleeping when I phoned him? Excellent. Let's move on. Let's have some more practice. It was raining when we left the house. It was raining when we left the house. Let's make a negative one. It wasn't raining when we left the house. It wasn't raining when we left the house. Let's make a question. Was it raining when you left the house? Was it raining when you left the house? Excellent. Let's move on. They were buying fresh bread every morning when they were in France last summer. They were buying fresh bread every morning when they were in France last summer. What about negative sentence? They were not buying fresh bread every morning when they were in France. They were not buying fresh bread every morning when they were in France last summer. Probably they were buying croissants. What about questions? Can you ask a question? Excellent. Were they buying fresh bread every morning? Were they buying fresh bread in the morning? Good. Excellent. Well done. Let's go into our last bit with mini dialogues. Here we're going to practice with the mini dialogues or past continuous tense. Let's start. Number 1. Was he playing video games when you called him? Was he playing video games when you called him? Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Oh, no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Number 2. Was your mother cooking an apple pie when Mike entered the kitchen? Was your mother cooking an apple pie when Mike entered the kitchen? Yes, she was. Yes, she was. Oh, no, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. Number 3. Were you waiting in the airport when she arrived? Were you waiting in the airport when she arrived? Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Or if you weren't there, no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. And number 4. Were they reading a book when the movie started? Were they reading a book when the movie started? Yes, they were. Oh, no, they weren't. No, they weren't. Excellent, good job. I hope this video was useful for you. If you've got any questions, just put them in the comments and just click like if you like the video, and if you didn't like, just click you didn't like it, and put in the comments what are the topics you want us to talk about next time. See you next time. Bye bye for now.